Okay, I've been wanting to have this talk with you ever since I finished the 27 levels of the Monk 101 program. Now, I want you to know something and get this clear. I'm not bragging and I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me. I'm just telling you what it's like. You know, it's good when you have an honest friend who will tell you what it's like. And I'm going to tell you that the Monk 101 program was maybe the hardest thing I ever did. I was standing in the ocean one day after coming back from a trip to America, where I had written some books and was inspired to go to America and go from church to church and share a profound and wonderful message that God had given me. I contacted 3,000 rooms, 3,000 churches, and only got in touch with one pastor. I called 400, only got one pastor, and that was, he told me flat out he was not interested. The rest are all answering machines. I would just love if a pastor fell on hard times and called upon God, and God says, "Oh, sorry, I'm not in right now, but leave a message and I'll get back with you." I wish that would happen to me. Anyways, I came back home and I was thoroughly rejected, defeated, failure. I told God, this is ridiculous. I went there like I was supposed to and nobody wanted to hear me. Nobody wanted me to speak in their church. And then you had me write a book for people who can't afford to pay for it. What do I do now? I know that this is right, but what do I do now? And that's when the thought came to me, why don't you just go ahead and put together the Monk 101 program, put together the ultimate training program so that players will be able to bring their game to the highest level. You know? I thought, wow, I do have the program. So a door opened up for me to get a room with a pool table over at this resort. So I began in earnest to put the program together. Every lesson has been tested and verified that it includes the skills that I want you to have. If you do the lesson, you'll gain the skills. I went over them and over them and over them. And when I got about 3/4 of the way through, and I realized that many of these lessons were revealing themselves, and they were incredible. They were remarkable. It was not something I made up. It was given to me. They were divinely inspired. And I thought, after a while, man, you know, I do this training course like my students, and I could become world class. So I made a declaration with my students that I would finish the course. And I know something from my Buddhist study from years ago. You don't start something and not finish it. You don't make a declaration and not come through with it. If you don't follow through on your declaration, you will have strife and conflict in your life. So when I said to you, my goal is to complete this course, I'm in. There's no turning back. And I'll tell you something. I faced hardship after hardship after hardship. Number one, they didn't come easy. The shots didn't come easy. I had problems with my legs, problems with my arm, had a very faulty grip, and it didn't come easy. Number two, I had physical problems. Some days I could hardly walk. I was in a tremendous amount of pain all the time. 80% of the time that I went through the program, I was in pain, lots of it. And, but you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I got to finish the program. So I went through the program and finished it and was not happy at all. I rushed. I skipped things. I wasn't where I needed to be. So I decided I'd go through it again, step by step. Now, 2 years I went through it. Step by step, 2 years, the second time. This time, one lesson at a time. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the goal. do the lesson at a time. When you get it done, sign it. And during that time, I had more physical setbacks. I had times when I couldn't make 3 balls. And times when I said to myself, you know, you're 72 years old. What are you trying to do? And if I answered it, I'm trying to be world class. I had doubts. You know, I had doubts. Maybe I just don't have it. Maybe I waited too long. If Grady Matthews told me, Tim, you're a fine teacher. You got a great business. You're doing good. Make more money than me. But if you don't take your game to world class, you are going to regret it. It'll be a regret of yours. And I know now he was right. Being a good teacher was wonderful. It was a great life. But for me, I had to reach that level. I was obsessed. I got called to this game, not to become mediocre. I got called to become great. That's it. So I persevered through. I even had a stroke. Was in a coma for 5 days. Didn't know anybody. In fact, they carried me out of this house. I couldn't walk, couldn't talk. And the doctor thought that I had some serious brain damage, which would affect my motor skills. But fortunately, miraculously, there was no brain damage. No brain damage. And I come back, and I was, of course, very weak. I came upstairs, I hit a few balls to test to see if my alignment was still there. I thought this was the final blow. And so it took me 4 months to get my strength back. And during that 4 months, I've had serious problems with my left leg, pain. But I stayed with it. And after a while, I finished all 27 ponds. Signed them, mastered them, was ready for the grand final exam. The grand final exam is your test. If you can pass that test, it's a series of shots designed to test your consistency, your endurance, your focus, your concentration, and your stroke. You know, you can't miss. And so I started into the grand final exam and was very discouraged because I couldn't do too many of them. I did a few of them, but I couldn't do some of them. And you know, if I can't do them, I can't say I'm world class. A world class player would be able to do them. I couldn't. So I was really discouraged. But yet when I went back to some of the old ponds, I blew right through them like nothing. So I stayed with it, made a few adjustments with my grip, made a few adjustments with my stance. And you know what I learned? I learned you cannot take anything for granted. Every shot has to be shot with 100% certainty, 100% effort. Nothing lazy. If you're stuck in a level, you can't seem to break through, it's because you're lazy. I'm telling you right now, it's because you rush things, you're not disciplined, you're not into it. And so I made a point where I was going to be into everything. And wouldn't you know, presto, I finished the grand final exam. And some of them I did way more than what was expected. It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't do any of this before. Now I can. Now, in closing, I want to say to you, I don't like to play. I don't like losing. I hate losing. I get a fever, I get a temperature, I might even have a stroke. I don't like winning. That's right. I don't like to see somebody brokenhearted. I don't like to see somebody knocked out of a tournament. I don't like to do mean things to people. Remember, I'm an apostle. I'm supposed to be nice. And so it doesn't give me pleasure to beat somebody. So I'm stuck in a hard place. But it gives me tremendous pleasure to be world class. And if we do a workshop together, you're going to see that. And I hope I can stay that way for a while. You know, I'm getting older. And I will play some of the tours over in Asia, some of those. But my goal was to finish the class. And it didn't matter what obstacle came my way. Obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. Reasons to quit came my way. But there's no quit in someone who makes a declaration. You have made a declaration that you are going to complete this program. Now get back to work. One step at a time. Don't let anything stop you from becoming the world-class player that's within you right now.